Hi, it's Therese from Lostinpaper and I'm back to colour with you, and today it's Copics. And I haven't used these in a little while, or it feels like I haven't used these in a little while, so I thought I would just get this gorgeous little penny black image. It's one of the Valentine releases from this year, and her name is Purrfect, and she does come with a sentiment as well, but I'm just actually using the stamp today. And because I'm using my Copics, I have stamped her out just on some smooth white cardstock with some Memento Tuxedo Black. It's probably my favourite ink for Copic colouring, and actually a lot of stuff. I really like this ink. Probably the only downfall is it's probably not as black as, say, the Onyx Black VersaFine is, but you could always use your Misty or a tool like that and restamp over the top of the image after you've coloured it if you want that more sort of bold look. Anyway, back to the colouring today, and I'm going sort of for almost a pastel-y colours, and so I am trying to keep these colours fairly light. I haven't got all the Copic markers. I decided when I was buying mine just to sort of stick to a few of the colours that I thought I'd need, and have gradually built on it over the years, but basically just make do with the colours I've got. So one way I can do that is to use my colourless blender, or just leave a lot of white highlights and use my pens lightly. To add the shading, on this image I have actually brought my lighter colour in first where the shading is going to be, because I am trying to keep it quite pale, and then brought a deeper colour in and then shaded it out, and then used the colourless blender to try and make sure that it's nice and pale. If you don't own a lot of Copic colours, one good trick is to get yourself a good light grey, either a warm grey or a cool grey, depending on what your preference would be, and then what you can do is actually use the greys to create a new colour or add the shading, so that way you don't have to own every colour. Another way to do it is actually to use the same colour over itself, and that will give you like a darker colour as well. So this cat is actually coloured like my cat who died last year. Her name was Boogie and she was a lilac Burmese, and she lived with us for 18 years and was one of the most amazing cats I know. And she, even though they're a grey Burmese cat, they have this sort of a lilac-y colour to them. I didn't go down the lilac track, I just coloured her with the TO and the T2 here, but still kept it fairly pale. I decided to colour the little heart lollies in with some more pastel colours, the pinks and the greens, and that's where it all started going to custard. For some reason my RV marker, I had it lying there with the cap off, and it just leaked onto my cardstock, and I thought I didn't really want to start again. I'd already done all of the colouring on most of the image, and I thought, well, I could actually recolour it on a separate piece, pop it up or adhere it down. I thought it would be really difficult because the cat's paws were actually holding these hearts, so I simply just mopped it up, used my colourless blender, and then recoloured the grey on the cat's fur where the pink had got, and then crossed my fingers and hoped that the blending would cover most of it up, which I think it did seem to. And if you're wondering why I did colour her eyes that sort of golden greeny colour, that's because my cat had that colour eyes. They were piercing and beautiful. I decided to fussy cut right up to the edge of this image, and I think the main reason I did that was because of the whiskers, and I thought it would probably work. They were long enough that if I cut right around the edge, you're not going to realise that they should have actually been longer and sticking out over the edge. This is one of the ways that I do draw around the edges of my image. I just slide a piece of cardstock or the die cut or the cut out image straight down on a piece of scrap paper, and then draw around it with a marker. I have cut some black hearts from, this is the Line of Hearts die. It's like a border die almost, and it's just beautiful. It has like an outline heart and the funkiest shaped hearts that pop out of the center. So I thought that'd be great to add to this image and bolden it up. I've got a piece of multicolored, this is from Echo Park. It's one of the older paper pads. I know I'm using design paper, isn't it amazing? Like, I hardly ever use it. And I've been using it a bit lately, so I got a little bit to get through though, gotta say. I have a sentiment which just says XOXO. I added some matte medium and I cut that out of some black cardstock as well, and that's from the Filled with Love die cut from Penny Black, and it has 3 different sort of Valentines or love sayings. And then I have popped up my little image with some, it just happens to be blue fun foam, and that's because I've got a stack of coloured fun foam to use up, and I thought, well, you're not going to see it through all that Copic colouring. And this is probably where I should have stopped the card in retrospect, because it still kept going a bit wrong. But anyway, I've cut out one of the hearts out of the Line of Hearts, and I just sort of kept cutting along the way that it should be to get an outline heart, and then I've used 2 of the dark centers, and by putting the 3 of them, it just made my card look off center to me. I had too much card at the bottom, but you'll see in the photos at the end what I actually did was cut the bottom off the card and not make it quite so long, and I think that did help balance the card a bit better. I should have had everything down just a little bit on the card. And then I noticed, as I was adding the Crystal Spectrum Noir, that I had a black smudge on my heart. So the sparkly tops of the heart does look pretty, and it looks even better now with that rhinestone creative opportunity. And I'm going to leave it at that. So thanks for joining me. I'll be back again real soon. Till next time, happy paper crafting. Bye.